Okay, with Lorick Jain, The Last Puff is the short film. I played at the thriller sci-fi thriller suspense film festival. It's 4 minutes and it's got a really nice message to it, and plus it's kind of scary a little bit. But what's this? And you're according to your blog interview, this is kind of a personal story, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So
So I can tell you a little bit more about it.
yeah,
Um, I've had folks and family like fall prey to the ill effects of smoking, especially my granddad. Um, Spent about 40 years of his life getting him off of cigarettes, but we couldn't. And he had he had to face the consequences of it, and he he had massive heart attacks, and then he passed away. So I decided to do something about this. But the generic way of messaging this entire idea of not smoking is pretty straightforward and ultra utilized in storytelling and in cinema, where you're walking people through what the ill effects of smoking could be, and then you show them scary visuals. But I think that doesn't hit home. So I wanted to essentially use this platform, or this unique method of storytelling, where I'm sort of using a metaphor for the ill effects of smoking as a shadow or a ghost that's following you all the time.
yeah, gotcha. No, 100%. Have you smoked before?
I have, but I don't
Yeah.
regularly. Yeah.
No, it's a terrible. I smoked for when I was in my late teenage years and my into my 20s, and I quit like a long time ago, like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a nasty habit. It's like really hard to quit, and it's one of those things where like I can't believe I smoke like now because it's been so long because it's like it's so kind of yucky.
Yeah.
But I think that what you just did with this like it's a great. I think you talked about like you didn't want to make a commercial, but it's better than make like a short film. But it kind of is a commercial in many ways, in the sense.
Yeah, sure. It can be pushed off as a commercial, except the idea was more creative storytelling. And the only way to get this message home would have probably been where you probably keep the viewers at their seats, right, at the edge of their seats, and then they finally realize, okay, this is more like pushing that message across, that social message.
Yeah, no, it's a great little concept, and so tell me about the process of kind of like making the film. Like, I guess you needed a house, right? So
Yep.
basically, as
Yeah,
location,
so I can tell you how we started off. First, I took some time to actually like brainstorm how I want to go about the script, right? So writing the script itself like took a big chunk of my time, because I didn't want it to be a narrative that was pushed like commonly, right? So to write it in that creative format, to come up with a screenplay itself took quite a bit of time. The second aspect of this was to actually scout for a location where we could film this.
yeah.
So I reached out to a couple of my friends back in India, and I was going to be traveling back then. So I asked them to share a couple of videos of their homes, if they're going to be open for filming or if they're going to be empty because their parents are traveling or something like that. And then we looked at a couple of these sites. Initially, it wasn't going to be a home. The initial draft of the screenplay was pointing more towards something like a garage where there are vehicles and where there's some sort of mechanical work going on. But I think we couldn't like hit upon any location, so I had to like tweak the script accordingly. So we did the location scouting. Then I had to get somebody to act in the movie.
Mhm.
Obviously, I cannot act myself in the movie because I was directing, and the other problem that I was going to face there as a first time director was I didn't want to go on screen smoking and then my parents freaking out. This is his first film and he's smoking. So found the lead, and then worked from there to like essentially think about what aspects of the movie I want to film at what time, and then went ahead from there. So
Gotcha.
it was a pretty laborious process. Even though it was 4 minutes, I realized that Actual filmmaking takes a lot of effort, and 4 minutes doesn't do the justice of the amount of hard work that goes behind
Of
the
course
scenes.
not. Yeah. But to go back to the person who performed in it, because the irony is that I'm assuming that person was smoking all day when you're shooting it.
Right, right. So, he was okay to smoke for the film, and he's also like, I think, he's not a regular smoker, but he's a smoker when like he wants to smoke.
I was
But
going to point that out because you need someone who knows how to smoke. Nothing worse than seeing someone who doesn't know how to
who can't pull it off?
smoke,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So exactly. So narrowing down the list of people who want to smoke and who have smoked before was also like a challenge. But I knew this person from back in my childhood days when we would perform plays together, and that's how I hit him up again, Chakravarti, the lead of our film, and then he went ahead and decided to take the role.
Gotcha. And this is your first film?
Yeah, this is my first take at filming. Yes.
And you could and what's your what like you just said it's really difficult and it's like and it's people don't understand how hard it is, but would you do it again? Would you make another film again?
Yes, I'm making one right now. So I'm writing a small script again. It's for a short film. It's a person and a dog sitting on the beach, and they're talking about the a philosophy of life. And it's shot only from the perspective of discussing the meaning of life and the essence of life. It's again a short film, but it's a more comical and humorous way of talking about the philosophies of life.
Gotcha. So you got the bug then. You're to keep making movies.
Yes, I'm going to keep making a lot of films. I've also gotten a stint as one of the assistant directors for a feature-length film. It's a sequel to a movie on Netflix. It's a regional film. So that's going to be exciting as well.
And what are you gonna do on that film?
I'm going to be helping with production as well as I'm going to be an assistant director, associate director actually. So the first assistant to the director.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're gonna get into the minutia, I guess, of a feature.
Yes, yes.
That's gonna be a huge learning experience for you.
Exactly. So everything from pre-production, during the movie and post-production, setting up call sheets, figuring out all the folks who are involved, location scouting, line production, ensuring that all things run smoothly, mentoring actors for emotions. And again, this is a feature-length film, so keeping track of the minute details that take place, especially for indie productions, right? That are like on low budget. This is going to be like one hell of an experience.
All right. So we ask in the blog interview as well, like what challenges people have, what obstacles they face, and you said, oh, basically every obstacle, I had every challenge because I was a first
Yeah,
time
as a
filmmaker.
first time filmmaker, you don't even know how to get things running, right? So, learning about camera angles, perspectives, cinematography, learning editing for the first time, learning how to essentially ensure that we are on time, on schedule, learning how to get the best out of actors on that particular day.
Yeah.
It's quite a challenge, quite a learning curve for me. But I spent a lot of time beforehand preparing all the theory. I actually took a master class on like how to make movies, and then I used that learning to actually test it out on my own short film.
So you did like how long was the class?
The master class was actually about 2 months long,
Okay.
and it was only on the weekends. I spared about an hour every weekend. So an hour on a Saturday and an hour on a Sunday. So about 2 hours every weekend.
I guess I'll rephrase the question then. What's your favorite part of the filmmaking process?
I think the favorite part of the filmmaking process for me has to be when I'm able to stitch everything together in my mind while actually directing or like urging the actor to complete the scene. But once the scene and the take is done, the fact that you can stitch all of these in your mind with the creativity that you have has to be the most favorite part of filming. So it has to be during the filming itself. It's not when I'm sitting and editing the film. It's not during pre-production where I'm like getting everybody together.
So it's the filming then. You like production.
Right. Exact. Production as well as like getting that right shot in the frame.
I'm assuming you learned that it will never be exactly right. It'll never be perfect, I guess, right?
They will never be perfect, but the fact that you will be able to stitch like a broad picture in your mind will, I think, is like the best part of like this entire journey, right? You may not get the perfect shot, but you will know that the shot is good enough when you compare it with all the other shots that you've taken. And when you stitch this together, you know that you're like going to be a part of something big and you're going to help push the story and the narrative across to the audience.
So, talk to me about your team then, because I saw that you had a co-writer on your script. You had obviously an actor and you had a cinematographer, right?
Yep. Yeah, so like I said, some of these were folks I knew from my childhood. We used to take part in plays together. Some of them we used to collaborate on like small sort of uh, side projects, mini projects, if you will. We used to make videos and like put them on YouTube. So a couple of the folks on my team, Harsha, uh, he started a studio in India, and he makes short ad films.
Okay.
Uh, so I partnered with him, and Chakravarti was the lead on the set, on a lead actor on the in the film. He was also part of my childhood in these plays and these uh, theatrical dramas that we used to perform back in school. So I hit him up as well to see if he would be interested in taking part in this short film. And finally, we had to figure out someone who would help us with the post-production bit, which is the editing.
Yeah.
And that was initially a roadblock because no one wanted to take this up end to end. They wanted to essentially like take full credit for complete cinematography, and they didn't want to deliver this project as quickly as we wanted it because it was a lower priority item for them, given that it's a short film.
Yeah.
So I decided to go an unusual route. I decided to hit up a first time editor. uh, I went ahead and found a freelancer whom we contacted through Fiverr, which is like a freelancing platform.
Yeah.
And we sort of built a relationship now. So he's collaborating with me on my second project as well. And we want to take it forward from there and see how both of us improve, both in filming as well as on the editing side.
So you mentioned before the interview that you're from the Bay Area. You live in the Bay Area, but you shot this in India.
Yeah. So obviously we wanted to do it on low budget, and most of the folks involved in the film are based out of India. So I flew down to India to
That's
finish
not
the.
low budget.
I was anyway flying back to India, so
You're going anyways, I guess, right?
yeah, so it just made sense to like film it when I was on vacation there.
Okay, gotcha. So you went on vacation and you still have family there?
Yes, I do have family there.
Okay. So you go there and then you basically decide to shoot. So where did you find the house?
Yeah, so again, this is neighboring homes, neighboring
Yeah.
streets. We used to scout for all of the possible locations that we could. Hit up everyone in our network, and everyone not just in my network, right? In the network of all the folks in on the film. So just started looking at different homes, asking them to send recorded videos of the homes, seeing which would perfectly fit our needs for all the perspectives that we wanted to film the main lead on, whether it's him walking down the stairs, whether it's him going up into one of the rooms, whether it's him just sitting down on the sofa, whether it's him looking through those window and getting those stills that we captured. So
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of like crowdsourcing, if you will, from the rest of the network, and then we finally zeroed in on one of the homes.
Gotcha. And then okay, so it was just something you rented. You rented the house, I guess.
Yes, we did.
Gotcha. And then I'm assuming you shot in one day.
Yeah, we had to film in one day. So all of the filming was done over, I think, 4.5 or 5 hours.
And when you got to the post-production, was there anything that you thought that was missing? Were you have your like in terms of your
Yeah,
footage?
so In short films, I don't think it matters a bit, but I'm seeing a lot of this happen when I'm dealing with like the feature film side of things. Um, I did realize that there's some patchwork that needs to be done, and there's some things that we missed out. Um, but I took some creative liberty to stretch one of the scenes and go slightly slower in one of the sort of stills that we had taken, and
Yeah,
then decided to like stitch it together for an end-to-end experience.
gotcha. And tell me about the sound. Like, what did you think about how was the sound design experience in post-production for you?
Yeah, so again, like since we wanted to send chills down the spine, we had to have like sound elements, right? We had to have the background score, right? We had to have the music, right? So sat down, went through a list of like or a bunch of like tunes, bunch of like background sounds. And then after a point, they all started sounding similar. So it was very difficult to like come out of that sort of zone. I decided to then take some time to switch off, really think about my story, and then think about what is that aha sound that I want for the movie, right? So this time I decided to play it for folks who were going to be the audience. I played it for my parents, I played it for my friends, and then they picked out something that was bone chilling enough for them, and I used that in uh, deciding what the background score of the film would be.
Gotcha. So you got a film. So how did you feel when like you finished the film and the film was done?
It was my first film, and I completed my first film, so
Yeah.
it was a big deal for me to do this all by
Yeah,
myself.
100%. Yeah.
So I think there was a sense of accomplishment, definitely. But more importantly, I think it was a lot of learning in the process and like understanding that I can do this and I want to be doing this for a long time to come now. It's one of those things that is going to be sticky as a hobby,
Yeah.
but not just a hobby, passionate enough to like take this full time.
Gotcha. I'm assuming you have like a day job, I guess, right? In the Bay Area?
Yes. I do have a day job, so I get time only on weekends to film.
Gotcha. And your family supports it, everybody supports it in your life?
Yeah, I have had some pushback from parents saying, "Oh, you'll burn out like this if you spend time doing this and if you have a day job." But I think filming actually has given me more energy than sapped energy from me. So I think that's a big deal. I feel more energetic on sets.
Yeah, it's a creative like it's creativity, right? So
Right.
gotcha. And so yeah, so then I'm assuming eventually they'll understand that then.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But do you like your job?
I do like my job, but I think if I ever get a chance to work with Nolan, that would be the last day on my job.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you said Nolan?
Yeah,
Christopher Nolan?
he's my favorite director.
Okay. You just said the way you just said it, like you, it's well, he's one word now. Like he's like Madonna, right? So,
Yeah,
well,
definitely. Like, there's no one like him.
you put down in the blog interview that you've watched Interstellar for the most times in your life.
Yeah, and managed to find out how there's one small mistake in that movie, but it's again creativity, right? It's bootstrap paradox. But the fact that he could like sell and paint that story without even having to explain this to the audience is just mind-bogglingly crazy. The
Okay, so
fact
I've only seen the
that
movie once. Maybe I should watch it again. I saw it like the first week it came out in the theater. I haven't seen it since. I liked it when I first saw it. But what's the small mistake?
so if they, as in us,
Yeah.
did not survive, as in Cooper did not fall through the gravity, a black hole tesseract that was created, we would not have in the future understood those five dimensions and been able to navigate gravity. So Cooper had to fall through the tesseract, which means they had to go to man's planet first. Dr.
Okay.
Man, yeah.
Gotcha. So then they didn't. So then the movie is illogical then.
It is logical. All I'm saying is that it's that paradox. Like if that didn't happen, then we didn't survive, and if we didn't survive, that couldn't happen.
Gotcha.
Uh,
It's the same thing with all. Well, like there's aspects of time travel or aspects of the future in the.
yeah,
I don't want to give anything away. People haven't seen it, but there's aspects, I guess, right? So it's like that in any time travel movie, right? Like
yeah,
it's like more with like in Back to the Future. It's like in Back to the Future 2, it's like why is that? You know what I mean? It's like why are they in that reality? Wouldn't they go back? Wouldn't they just transform into their old versions of themselves when they go back
right.
to 1985, right? Like that doesn't make any sense,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I don't
Also,
know if you
like
saw the
one of
movie. I'm assuming you saw. I'm using a movie that most people have seen, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely very different from the time travel in the Marvel universe, but I get it. Marvel universe has like forked realities, so
yeah.
that's a totally different form of time travel. In fact, they make fun of Back to the Future in
Yeah.
Marvel.
By that rationale, how do we know? Because I'm assuming that time travel has never been invented, right? So what do people, how do people really know what happens, right?
Yeah, nobody knows. But the fact that Nolan put in this much effort hiring physicists for the movie, actually like wetting all of those planets and all of those designs using computers, just brilliant.
Gotcha. And then but so then you've seen all, I'm assuming you saw all like Interstellar, I'm sorry, Oppenheimer, the Batman
Yes,
series, you've
uh,
seen all those
big
movies.
fan. Big fan of Nolan's movies. So yeah, seen most of his movies. Yeah.
But Interstellar is your favorite or the one you've seen the
Yeah,
most?
Interstellar is gonna be my favorite, and it's the only movie that has stood the test of time at least. So most recently, I think in 2022, MIT researchers they released the picture of the black hole, and turns out it's the same image that was generated during the movie Interstellar in 2014, which is like a very, very big deal.
Gotcha. And is there any other movie that like you've like what's you have a second favorite? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think my second favorite movie would be it's a tough choice, but I think Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a good movie as well.
No, I think I meant like well, yeah. I meant the Nolan I
Nolan
meant the
movie, a
Nolan
Nolan movie would be, I think, the second best or second favorite would be. It's a strong tie between Inception and Oppenheimer, but I think I'll lean more towards Oppenheimer.
because it's revisionist what is it like it's the newest film, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more fresh, though Inception was like a lot more creative in terms of storytelling and visuals itself, like a city turning on itself.
Yeah,
Um, but I think I liked Oppenheimer far more, given the attention of detail given to like every character on on the set.
gotcha. So you're so you basically have your job, but then you have your like these things that you're kind of quote unquote kind of like a hobby, but you're kind of working, you're talking to me, so
Yeah, talking to a lot of people, going to a lot of events, going to a lot of film festivals, meeting a lot of filmmakers, figuring out how to get plugged into their projects. Yeah, it's a it's a fun time to be alive.
it's a fun time to be alive. And so ideally, would you want to make a feature film yourself?
Yeah, the goal is to make a feature film myself. So
Gotcha. All right, man.
one
Well, congratulations on the film. I liked your honesty and your like excitement for filmmaking. I think that that kind of excitement is, I hope that you always have it, right? So
thank you. And thank you so much for like taking the time to interview
anytime.
me. Yeah.
So let's talk when you make your next film then.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.